Hello my dear friend. Okay, welcome to this course again, and previously we have learned the lesson of how to calculate the squares of those numbers which end with 5. Now we will see how to apply this knowledge that we have learned. We have practiced the quiz. I hope you have practiced all the quiz questions. Now we will learn how to apply that knowledge for the other calculations which do not actually involve the squaring but involve something indirectly. Okay, the squaring is involved indirectly. So let's see the application of the concept that we have learned. For example, if I have a number 25 times 26, so this is a number in which I have to multiply 25 times 26. I have to calculate this result. So what I can do, either you can multiply it by a normal traditional method that we have learned in our schools, but if you want to advance, if you want to do this type of calculation again mentally, I hope you have learned the previous technique, so you will be able to do this calculation as well. Okay, you will be able to do mentally this kind of calculation. Now you may be confused that how we can do this calculation mentally. How is it possible for me? So I will tell you how you can do this mentally. See, for example, this is 25 times 26. What I can imagine in my mind is that 26 is basically 25 plus 1. So what I can think that 25 times 26, and in place of 26 I can write 25 plus 1. I can write 25 plus 1. So now it becomes 25 times 25 plus 1, and there is a parenthesis. Okay, so what I can see, if I solve it further, if I think it further, 25 will get multiplied to 25 and 25 will also get multiplied to 1. So the result will come out to be 25 square plus 25. Now my task is to calculate this result. Now you can see here I have 25, I have the square of 25, and we have learned a very interesting technique in the previous lesson, that how to calculate the square of this number mentally. So what I will do is I will calculate the square of 25 directly. How we can do this? See, this is our 25 square and I have to calculate its square. So the step 1 would be very simple. I will increment this 2 by 1 and multiply the result to 2 only. It will give you 6. So 2 times 3, and I will take the square of 5. I will take the square of 5 as it will be 25, and I will join the results of both these steps. Okay, this is the technique that we have learned. So this will give you 625. So what I can see that in place of 25 square, I can directly write 625. I can write this 625 as the result. So it will become 625 plus 25. Okay, in place of 25 square, I have written 625 plus, and 25 will come as it is. So it's 625 plus 25. Now you can see, just imagine this, that 25 times 26 becomes a difficult calculation. But if I imagine this particular calculation as 25 plus 625, it will become easy. Okay, so what I have did is I have simply transformed this calculation to a very simple addition. Okay, I have transformed this calculation to a very simple addition, and I can easily add 625 and 25 to get 650 as my result. So 25 times 26 will give you 650. So as you can see, the technique that we have learned in the previous lesson, it is applied in this concept, and we have applied this technique to ease our calculation. Our basic aim is to ease our calculation wherever we get such kind of calculations. We'll try to apply this squaring technique. So as you can see here, I've applied and I got the result very quickly. It's very less calculative, okay, compared to the normal traditional calculation, the multiplication that we used to do. Okay, so let's see one more example. A very interesting thing. For example, if I have 25 times 24, now what should I do? What I can see is 25 times 24, this 24 can be written as 25 minus 1. So in place of 24, what I have written is 25 times 25 minus 1. That is 25 minus 1, that is 24 only. So what I can see, I can multiply this 25 inside the bracket. Okay, it will give you the square of 25 minus 25. So 25 times 25 is 25 square, and 25 minus times 1 is 25 only, and minus will come as it is. Okay, this is the calculation. Now I can again see that instead of calculating 25 times 24, what I can do is I can calculate the square of 25 and subtract 25 from it to get the result as 25 times 24. Okay, and let me repeat what I have said. I said that if I want to calculate 25 times 24, what I can do is, the better way that I can do is, I can calculate the square of 25 and I can subtract 25 out of it. So again, the square of 25, how you calculated it? This is the 25. To calculate the square, what we have learned, step 1, just number before the 5. So it's 2 times 3 will give you 6. Then square of 5 is 25, and 6 and 25 get joined to form 625. So the result is 625. What I can do, out of this 625 that I got here, I can do this like this. In place of 625, I can write, sorry, in place of 25 square, I can write 625, and it will give you 625 minus 25. Okay. So now if you calculate this 625 minus 25, it gives you 600. So I got the result of 25 times 24 as 600. Okay. So this is a technique that we can apply. You need not to do this technique on paper. You can do this technique mentally. It's possible for you. Believe me, it's very easy technique. You can simply calculate the square of 25, subtract 25 out of it, and you will get your result. That is 600. Okay. Also, very interesting thing. Let's see some more example. Let's see some more calculation. For example, 45 times 47. I have to multiply this 45 and 47. So I have a technique that I learned in school, the basic multiplication technique, but that will create a problem. So what I can do, I can again apply the technique that we have learned in the previous lesson, that is the squaring. So what I can see, 45 into 47 can be written as 45 times 45 plus 2. That is, 47 can be expanded. It can be written as 45 plus 2. So now you can multiply this 45 inside the bracket. So 45 times 45 will give you square of 45, and 45 times 2. This is like 45 times 2 here. So it means that if I want to calculate 45 times 47, what I can do, I will simply calculate the square of 45 and add 45 times 2 into it to get my calculation easy. So now how to calculate the square of 45? It's again a number which ends with 5. I have to calculate its square. So what I can think, that this is 45, how to calculate its square? We'll calculate it by again applying the same concept, and that is, the first identify the number before 5, that is 4. Increment this 4 by 1 will give you 4 into 5, that is 20, and then take the square of 5 will give you 25. Join the two results, join the results out of this from the step 1 and step 2, it will give you 2025, that is 2025. Okay, so by joining the two results, I get 2025. It means in place of 45 square, what I can write is 2025. So it will become something like this. In place of 45 square, I have written 2025, this, and plus now 45 times 2. 45 times 2 is easy to calculate. You can just double 45, add 45 to it, you will get 90. Okay. So 2025 plus 90, you have to add this number. Now how will you going to add this? How is it possible? How you can add this mentally? How is it possible for you? See, I will tell you a very simple method, that when you have 2025 plus 90, what you can do is, imagine this 2025 as 2000, okay, plus 25 and plus 90. Now first add 90 to 2000. First add this 90 to 2000. It will give you 2090. Okay. Now you have 25. Now what you can do is, first thing that instead of 25, I can imagine this as 2090 plus 10 plus 15. Okay. Why I am doing this? Because I want to calculate it mentally. So I have to get more number of zeros in my addition. So I can imagine this 25, that I am taking 10 out of it and I am adding this to 2090. So it will become 3000. Okay. Sorry, not 3000, it's 2100. Okay, 2100. Now you have only 15 to add into it. So it will become 2100 plus 15. It's easy to calculate and you will get the result as 2115. Okay. So the calculation remains simple. This calculation has to be done mentally. So when you calculate mentally, your calculation will increase, your brain power will increase, your concentration will increase, and you will be more confident compared to previously. Okay. So what you can see, 45 times 47, I simply expanded this calculation. I thought it in with another angle, and I used the technique of squaring, okay, to calculate the square of 45. Okay, so this is the calculation. The result of this is 2115. Okay, so let's move to the another example. The next example is 75 times 73. Now 75 times 73, again I have a method which I can use, the traditional method, but I will again go by some technique. How the technique works is, see, we have 75 here, this is 73. Now what is 73 in terms of 75? I can write 73 as 75 into, that is this product. In the bracket, I can write 73 as 75 minus 2. I can write 73 as 75 minus 2. Now, if you calculate this, if you multiply this 75 inside the bracket, it will give you square of 75 minus 75 times 2. This 75 times 75 and 75 times 2. So 75 square minus 75 into 2. So again, I have a number 75 which ends with 5. I have to calculate its square. So how will I calculate the square? This calculating the square will be, this is 75, okay, and first step would be, first identify the number before 5, that is 7. Just increase this 7 by 1 and multiply the result to 7 itself. So it will give you 7 times 8. 7 times 8, as you can see, it's 56. 7 8 times 56. And the square of 5, it will give you, square of 5 is 25. So 7 8s are 56 and square of 5 is 25. The result of these two steps will get joined to get the result in step 3. So 56 25 is the square of 75. Okay. So in place of 75 square, I can write 56 25. It will give you 56 25 minus now 150. 75 times 2 will give you 150. It's easy to calculate. Okay. It do not need any special knowledge of calculation. 75 times 2, just increase the 75 by 75. Okay, just double the 75, it is 150. So what I have to do is, from 5625, that is 5625, I have to subtract 150. So how will you subtract 150? See, first this is 5625 and you have to subtract 150. So mentally, first you subtract this in this way, 5625. Now instead of 150, I can imagine it as minus 100, minus 25, and again minus 25. Okay, I have divided this 150 into 3 parts, minus 100, minus 25, and one more minus 25. So now the calculation will become easy. See, 5625, okay, I have to subtract 100, it will definitely give you 5525. Okay, subtracting 100 would be easy. The two zeros will, this 2 and 5 will as this get carry forwarded. Okay, it will go carry forward to come as it is, and just subtract 1 from 6. It will give you 5525. Then minus you have 25, and minus you again have 25. So if I subtract one of the 25 out of it, 5525 minus 25, it will give you 5500. Okay, and then minus 25 again I have. Now if you subtract 25 out of 100, what you will get? You get 75. So I will get 5, 4, 7 and 5. Okay, I will imagine this 500 as 400 plus 100. Okay, I will imagine this 500 as 400 plus 100, and I will subtract 25 out of 100. So 5400 plus 75 will give you 5475. So the result of this calculation would be 5475. It means I can calculate the square of, I can calculate the product of 73 and 75 by applying the concept of square, and I can convert this particular calculation as square of 75 minus 75 times 2. So it means square 75 times 73 comes out to be 5475. So the result is 5475. It's a very interesting technique. Okay, let's see some more example. Let's say 65 times 68 I have to do. Now what I can do, again imagine this 68 as, I can take the 68 as 65 times 3. So 65 times 65 plus 3 can be written, and when you multiply the 65 inside the parenthesis, what you will get? You will get square of 65, that is this multiplication, and this multiplication. So 65 times 65 is 65 square plus 65 times 3 is like this. Now what you can do is, again you can see here I have converted this calculation in terms of the square of 65. So it means I have to calculate the square of 65. What I can do, I can apply my squaring method that I learned in the lesson 1, that is the square of 65. So it means first I have to identify the number before 5, that is 6. I will increment this 6 by 1 and multiply the result to 6 itself. It will give you 6 times 7. I incremented this 6 by 1 and multiplied the result to 6 itself. So 6 times 7 will give you 42. And then the square of 5, it will give you 25. Now what I will do is, I will simply join the result of two steps, that is 42 and 25. So it's 4225. So 42, 25. Now in place of square of 65 here, I can write 4225. Okay, so if I write this 4225, it will give you 4225 plus now 65 times 3. Now you may wonder that how I can calculate 65 times 3. Okay, how you can calculate mentally. So this 65 times 3, if you have, how you will calculate it? Imagine it this way, that 65 is written as 60 plus 5 times 3. Okay, just imagine that 65 is written as 60 plus 5 times 3. So now you have a parenthesis. Okay, so you can multiply this 3 to 60 and you can multiply this 3 to 5 as well. So 3 times 6 is 18, that is 180, and plus 3 times 15, 3 times 5 will give you 15. So 180 plus 15, you can imagine this, and first add 10, so it will become 190. Okay, plus 5, so this will give you 195. See, the calculation that I am doing here, this has to be done mentally. I am writing here for the explanation purpose, but at your end you have to do this calculation mentally. Okay, so we got 195 as 63 times 5, 65 times 3. Okay, so 4225 plus 195. Now how will you add this? First add this 5 to this. Okay, now let me tell you the calculation here. 4225 plus 195. What I will do is, I will shift this 5 from this number to this number, because if I add 5 to 195, it will become 200. So 4220 plus I will add this and will give you 200. Now 200 would be a lot easier for you to add to this number. So 4220 plus 200, it will become, at the end it will become 4420. So 4420 is the product of 65 and 68. So this is 4420. This is our calculation. Okay, so it's a very interesting technique, as you can see here. Okay, so these are some quiz questions that you can attempt. This completes our concept of the basic application of squaring of 5. Okay, so after this, first complete this quiz questions, and then we will move to the next advanced application questions, advanced application of this particular technique. Thank you.